Boys, welcome back to another Backfield YouTube video. Today we're going to top 24 running backs for week 13 of fantasy football. And boys, before we get into it, check out our absolutely free group chat on Chalkboard. It's the first link in the description. On the Chalkboard, we have our full weekly rankings. This video is only top 24 RBs. We got 36 on the Chalkboard, 48 wide receivers, 20 tight ends, 20 QBs. We got trade advice, waiver wire targets, so much match winning stuff on the Chalkboard. Go check it out. Absolutely free. First link in the description. First running back on the week. He has just been so good. So consistent, PPR monster, Austin Eckler. Not much to say here. He's just the RB1. And at RB2, this is a bit of a surprise, but we got Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb, finally Deshaun Watson's coming in. He played well last week, 20 plus points. And who's he's first in? The Houston Texans. They are the worst defense in the NFL against RBs. Nick Chubb should go crazy in week 13. And at running back 3, we got Josh Jacobs. Easy RB1 last week, over 45 points, over 300 scrimmage yards. That was absolutely insane. Love the matchup against the Chargers. Love him as an elite RB1. And next up at RB4, we got Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry last week was pretty good, and this week has a pretty good matchup. The Eagles were tough to start the year, but recently they've been quite bad against RBs. Derrick Henry should run wild. This Titans offense depends on him majorly. And at running back 5, we got CMC. Hopefully the knee issue isn't too serious. If it's not, obviously CMC is elite every single, or elite upside every single week. Last week wasn't great, had under 10 points. But again, Elijah Mitchell isn't there. Could mean possibly even more snaps for him. Love the upside here for CMC. And at RB6, we got Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor was cold to start the year, but he's heated up over the past 3 weeks. Has been pretty solid. Has a tough matchup against Dallas, though. Dallas, pretty good against Saquon last week. 2 weeks ago was amazing against Dalvin Cook. It's a tough matchup for JT. RB7, we got Aaron Jones. He's been getting absolutely fed. Actually, both these running backs. Even last week, A.J. Dillon got involved a lot. These running backs are getting absolutely fed. Tons of targets for both of them. But again, Aaron Rodgers should be playing. He said he's going to play. He loves to pass to Aaron Jones. Love the upside here. And at RB8, we got Saquon Barkley. Saquon last week was decent, but not that elite upside. Then 2 weeks ago was quite disappointing. Saquon, though, again, has a tough matchup against Washington. He should be this elite RB1 guy, but in a tough matchup, past few weeks hasn't been amazing. He does fall a bit in our rankings. And last player in this tier, we got Ramondre Stevenson. He has been getting, like Aaron Jones, absolutely force-fed targets. Love the safe floor because of the PPR upside in PPR formats. Also, Damian Harris is not practicing, and if he does not play, bump Stevenson even higher. And next up at RB10, we got Joe Mixon. He went nuclear a couple weeks ago, then got the concussion. Now, hopefully he suits up against the Chiefs. The Chiefs aren't great against the run. This game should be decently close. Joe Mixon could score. Should get some rushing volume. We like him in week 13. And running back 11, we got Travis Etienne. It was a little bit of a weird scenario last week. Had under 1 point, but it was because he got injured. He was cleared to go, but they just kept him out just to be safe. He said he's going to be healthy this week. If he's healthy, 100% good to go. Absolutely amazing matchup against the Lions in Detroit. Expect tons of points for both teams. And again, if he's fully healthy and he's the clear starter, should be even higher than this in the rankings. And our last RB1 of the video, we got Dameon Pierce. Dameon Pierce last 2 weeks has looked butt awful. He has been so bad. Under 5 points in both those games. But this week, he goes against the Cleveland Browns, and the Browns are terrible against RBs. I think Pierce can get some yards this time, can bounce back from those 2 abysmal performances, and I think he's startable in week 13. First running back in the next tier, we got Kenneth Walker. He has been awesome lately, probably going to win Rookie of the Year, but the matchup is awful against the Rams. Rams have been absolutely amazing against running backs. Again, Walker's been so good, just don't love the matchup. And at RB14, we got Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook has a mid-match against the Jets. The Jets have a good defense, but for running backs, they're right in the middle of the pack for fantasy points. I think this game should be close. Dalvin Cook should have some scoring opportunities. Hasn't been amazing over the past 2 weeks, but had terrible matchups. The matchup is at least getting a little bit better, and he is good for week 13. Next up, David Montgomery. With Justin Fields injured, not sure if he's going to play. Either way, if he plays injured or if the backup plays, they're going to have to lean on the run game more, lean on David Montgomery. He had a solid week last week against the Jets, and it's a pretty good matchup against the Packers. Packers just got run all over by the Eagles. Again, like the possible upside here. And at RB16, we got Alvin Kamara. Kamara has been so bad recently. Over the past 4 weeks, he's averaging under 10 fantasy points plus his matchup. It is terrible. Tampa Bay, over the past couple years, has not messed around when it comes to running backs. I think Kamara probably is a bit of a disappointing week, and that's why he is lower on our ranking. First running back in the next tier, we got Rachaad White. This is assuming Leonard Fournette comes back healthy and they split the backfield. If Leonard Fournette does not play, boost way up in the rankings. He is super, super good. But again, assuming Leonard Fournette does play, it's a bit of a tough matchup. Saints are a super good defense, and when you split carries, you just don't have elite upside. And right after Rachaad White, we do have Leonard Fournette. We expect if both these guys are healthy, they're both going to get similar workloads. Maybe Fournette gets the goal line work. Maybe Rachaad White does. I think the targets will be similar. They're both pretty good at catching. I think they're just right neck and neck in the rankings. Next up, Jamal Williams plays at home against the Jaguars. Pretty good matchup. And again, it seems like every time Lions play an okay or bad team at home, it's just a crazy point fest, and he's been the clear goal line back. Tons of touchdown upside. Again, pretty safe floor, gets tons of carries. Swift is not being super utilized, mainly PPR upside, but not really many rushing attempts. Joe Williams being the goal line back, like his floor and upside here. And last player in this tier, we have Ezekiel Elliott. Everyone was on the Pollard train, everyone loved Pollard, but Zeke showed last week that he still is the RB you want in this Dallas offense. Both these guys aren't getting a lot of PPR work, but Zeke is basically the exclusive goal line back, and he plays the Colts. The Colts let Najee score a touchdown, then they let Benny Snell score after Najee got injured. I think Zeke could definitely score in a pretty good matchup. He's our RB20. It's a bit early to say Najee Harris. It's a great matchup, but he was hurt last week, had to leave. He probably won't play. It's kind of, at the time of the recording, it's unknown. If he doesn't play, another Steeler running back probably slots in around here, probably a bit lower. But if Najee is good to go and fully healthy, it's a great matchup and good possible upside. Next up at RB22, we got Isaiah Pacheco looking like the clear RB1 for this Chiefs offense. Yes, maybe McKinnon will get some more catches on some weeks, but Pacheco, the clear goal line back, does have a tough matchup though. The Bengals are pretty good against RBs, and the Chiefs, they throw it a lot. You know, they ain't going to be running the ball too much in the red zone. They're going to throw a lot of touchdowns. Pacheco finally scored last week, but I don't know how many touchdowns he'll get in the future. In a bad matchup, he's still startable, but just not an amazing option. Second last player of the video, running back 23. We got Brian Robinson. He looked awesome last week. I believe he had over 20 fantasy points, had that awesome touchdown catch where he absolutely just trucked the Falcons defender over. It's a bit of a tough matchup against the Giants, but they have been so injured so that you never know week to week. Again, when the Giants are fully healthy, awesome against running backs, but with all their injuries, it's kind of unknown. Like this safety because he gets a good amount of rushes and the possible upside. And our last player of the video, we have Tony Pollard. Like I said, Zeke is getting all the goal line work, which does limit Pollard upside, but Pollard still to get more carries. He still has some receiving upside. 2 weeks ago, he blew up against the Vikings, over 100 receiving yards. Last week, not a ton of receiving work, but hopefully that upside can come back. He still is a low-end RB2. Guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Again, check out the free Chalkboard, all of our extra rankings, so much awesome exclusive free stuff on there. Thanks again for watching. See you guys next time.